What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, I just watched the Star Wars Outlaws trailer, the story trailer, and it's cool. I think, okay, so before I watched it, because it came out yesterday, I didn't watch it yesterday. Before I watched it, I'd heard a bunch of people give their feelings on it. Mainly David Jaffe, giving his feelings about the trailer, blah, 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 right? And so his main thing, I guess other people are echoing this as well, that they were hyped for it before they saw this story trailer. And then they're like, it's kind of rote. It doesn't feel like it's anything special. And there's just member berries and all this stuff. And I'm like, I mean, sure. But like graphically, looked at it, I was like, you know what? Graphically, what they showed looks better than The Last of Us Part 2. Let's just say that. It has to do with art style, but it also has to do with, maybe facial animations aren't as detailed. And that's performance capture, basically, for the humans. And the aliens are a whole different thing. But everything else looks crisper, cleaner, more dynamically ranged, if you will. Looks better than The Last of Us. Last of Us looks black and white in comparison. Anyway, music-wise, I like the selection of music. It's Star Wars-y enough. And yeah, it was cool. I think people are getting hung up on the mechanic side, where it's like, oh, she has a little sidekick dude where you could go and see. He had the Batman vision, and then he goes fetches stuff and flips switches and stuff. I'm like, that's part of the game mechanics. I mean, what would you? There's no other Star Wars games that does that for real. Well, I guess the last ones from Respawn kind of do that with whatever the little droid is called, maybe. Anyway, I don't think there's a problem with this game per se. I mean, obviously if the story is really good, then I think everybody's kind of trepidations about it right now after that trailer will be, resolved or whatever. It's like just waiting. I mean, yes, the trailer's supposed to get you more hyped, and it kind of had opposite effect, but at the same time, there wasn't really a lot of gameplay per se, as opposed to the 10 minutes or whatever they showed before. And people were saying they, still now, when they saw the gameplay and thinking back about the gameplay, it's awesome. It looks cool. So it's like, why are you tripping about the story cutscenes then? If you saw the gameplay and you like what the gameplay offered, why is the story stuff, the cinematic stuff, bringing you down? Gameplay is king, right? Gameplay is the most important part of any game. If you just have a bunch of cool cinematics and your gameplay sucks, then you have a bunch of Sony games. Just kidding, I'm just saying. You have a bunch of Last of Us. I'm just kidding. Am I? It's a little bit of truth in there, but not a lot. Anyway, I'm not worried about it. Ubisoft knows how to make games. They know how to make big, dense games. My thing about this game and many of the subsequent games that Ubisoft is kind of releasing now, like the Assassin's Creed Red, which is I think it's a Japanese samurai. I think it's that's what it is. But anyway, I think that a lot of the efforts that were being put into Beyond Good and Evil 2 are being kind of shifted over to something like Star Wars. Like, if Star Wars, if the game that Star Wars Outlaws, right? If it didn't have Star Wars graphics, Star Wars sound, Star Wars characters, and all that stuff, it would be Beyond Good and Evil 2, right? I mean, there's different planets, and they're all open world-ish, I think, I would assume. Sounds like Beyond Good and Evil 2, right? I don't know, man. They could. I think they couldn't still do a Beyond Good and Evil 2, but it would be part of the same template, part of the same, I guess, Assassin's Creed / Star Wars Outlaw. I think it's more in line with a Star Wars Outlaw, because it's you have the technology that's similar similar words. Yeah, it's closer to that than it is Assassin's Creed, obviously. So for me, it's not a big deal. I mean, Star Wars games are cool. I mean, think about like, what's the best Star Wars game? I don't know. I mean, I guess Jedi Survivor. Excuse me. Wow, talking about Star Wars is very tiring. I guess Jedi Survivor is was that the first one or the second one? The first one, Jedi. I don't remember now. Doesn't matter. But yeah, it seems like, I mean, it depends on like, how's the space combat stuff, if there is any. How does the open world work? Vehicles and all that stuff. Are you gonna get a droid, or you just have Nix with you, your little cat, dog, gerbil, ferret, whatever it is? There's a bunch of different things, and I think what it seemed like to me is that there's not kind of because they don't own the technology, but there's kind of a possibility of a nemesis system, meaning that in the story they were one of the characters was telling whatever her name is, I don't even know her name, the main protagonist, that the key to survival or whatever, blah blah blah, is to know the players, meaning the Hutts and the Pikes and everybody else, the crimson red girl, whatever her name is, know all the different factions of the syndicates of the underground, if you will. And that has the potential to have its own type of nemesis system, if you will, because you'd be like, okay, you have the boss of the different factions, and then you could have sub-lieutenants and all this stuff, and that would be cool. But who was it? Monolith, I think. They're the one who owned the rights to the Nemesis system. They're doing it in a Wonder Woman game. Ooh. Oh. Man, Wonder Woman's tiring too. I mean, maybe they could come up with a different name for their system and say, well, it's different because we have bosses of each faction and ... as opposed to the Lord of the Rings Mordor joints, where it was just the hierarchy of the one orc kind of thing. And so maybe that's enough of a differentiation where, I don't know. There has to be. I hate the fact that they trademarked the copyright. I forgot what they did. Whatever they did, they protected themselves. So now people can't use a good idea like that in any. That should be illegal to do something like that. Like, oh, we're gonna, like copyrighting a game mechanic or patenting is a patent. Patenting a game mechanic is kind of like, oh, first person shooters, we patented it. So every time you make one, you gotta. It's like, what? What are you talking about? How? Why? How? How is this? Oh man, U.S. law is kind of goofy sometimes. And the fact of the matter that Monolith hasn't used that technology that they patented 1,000 years ago in any other game. So we have this cool technology, and they have the kibosh on it because they're just not making games to have it. And so a dope technology that could benefit many, many games is not. So guess what? That's holding the industry back because laws, because of greed, because of money. Sucks. I think Ubisoft should give them the money to get that patent. Not to get the patent, but to pay to put it in their game. And they should make it better than Ubisoft. And no, you know what they should do? Like I said, they should create their own patent and change it enough so that it is different. Now, I don't know how they can do that, as far as like keeping track of the levels of different AI NPCs, if you word it a certain way. Because with AI, I think the Monolith's Nemesis system is going to become obsolete, because picture this. You have an AI system that tracks all the levels, all the accomplishments, all these things of NPCs in the world. I mean, it doesn't really matter what type of game it is, but let's just say it's a Star Wars game, right? And say if you're a Hutt, and this Hutt is a bounty hunter, which is weird, And this bounty hunter hut is going out, capturing bounties, making money, leveling up. On it, this is an NPC, right? On its own, leveling up. So good, this hut, is that, let's call him Booty Hut. And Booty Hut is out there getting all the bounties. Booty Hut's getting the bounties. Booty Bounty Hut. Anyway, getting all the huts, getting all the bounties, and to the point where the most successful bounty hunter gets promoted to Kingpin or whatever, Shogun or whatever they call the huts, the big hut in the sky. And so he's second to, let's say, Jabba or whatever, as far as like, his nepotism. So the family is like there, but he's not. Are they all related? Doesn't matter. And so because of his accomplishments as a bounty hunter, he becomes promoted to, not because somebody defeated him in battle or anything, but because of other things, other things that this NPC did on its own with the AI controlling it, getting bounties or doing whatever, making money for the family, blah, 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 is promoted. So what part of that would infringe on the patent? Is it the promotion part, or is it the way that they're promoted? You know what I'm saying? That's my question. But like something like that, and that goes for each of the different factions, So like the Pikes and everybody else, and Crimson Lady Girls, and so yeah, it's like, oh, you killed the, well, see, that goes back to the Nemesis system. But if they call it like a smart promotion system, I don't know. That doesn't sound as cool. Don't call it a system. Call it something else. And if you do it that way, it's more, it's wholly encompassing, and it's predicated on the AI functions, not so much, oh, if this orc beats your character, then it gets promoted and the everything and domino effect down the line. That's not how it works. This is an AI function predicated on the AI functions. And so, and that maybe that's random, or maybe it's based off of what you do as a character. So say if you steal some money from a certain syndicate, then another syndicate is a chain reaction, basically. Another syndicate gets a promotion. That one kind of goes down. Let's see, now you're getting into the realm of, oh, you defeated them by taking their money or something. So I don't know. And there's got to be a way for someone with creative minds, more powerful mind waves than me, to figure out a way to get around the Nemesis system patent and make games great again. No, I don't want to say that. That's bad. Just, employ a system that is similar to Nemesis but better, so that they can have a patent, and then Nemesis can be like, we don't care about your system anymore because you ain't using it anyway, and this one's better. That's my main thing. You get a cool system and nobody's doing nothing with it, so whatever. I think the Star Wars Outlaws would be cool if it had something like that. We'll see. It probably doesn't, but that would be something cool, because that way, maybe or potentially it could be one of those. It's not an evergreen game, but it could have more long legs, and they could introduce new factions that would, give it even more long legs and create complexity within all of the different scoundrel factions and bounty hunters or whatever. Maybe Din Djarin. This is between, Din Djarin's around, because this is between Empire and Return of the Jedi. So Din Djarin's around, yeah. Because this is Din Djarin, yeah. Because the Mandalorian happens after Return of the Jedi. So yeah, Din Djarin's around. Huh. He doesn't have all the super shiny armor, and he still has a Razor Crest. And he hasn't met Grogu yet. But yeah, he's in it. Anyway, appreciate y'all hanging out. Like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below. Y'all watch the trailer. What you think about it? Are you down? Like all these other pessimistic gamers out there. The pessimistic gamers. And what do you think about my idea of a better Nemesis system called the floopy floppy opponent functions? Whatever, we'll figure out the name. The name is not important. Well, the name is important, but it's important that it's not similar to a word Nemesis and a word system, so we'll call it something else. super AI controlled, whatever. Anyway, the NPC life, real life effects. Whatever. However, it would be A. Whatever. I'm rambling at this point. I'm gonna pass out. But let me know in the comments what you think about my ideas, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Talk to you later.